Chosen one. God is saying that it is time to tell you everything. The time of silence is over. The time of hidden meanings and mysterious signs has passed. Now is the hour of clarity, truth, and divine unfolding. You have walked through storms, waited in uncertainty, and stood firm when answers were nowhere in sight. But the delay was never denial, it was divine design. God was waiting for this exact season to reveal the truth to you, piece by piece, in perfect alignment with your growth, your maturity, and your calling. You were never walking blind. You were being taught to see with spiritual eyes. You weren't being ignored. You were being trained to hear God's whisper, even in the silence. This video is not just another message. It is a divine delivery, custom-made for your soul. Stay until the very end, because a sacred chapter of understanding is opening up for you. And write your warmest wishes in the comments and type 99, a sacred symbol of wishes manifesting and the universe being energized by your faith. Now, chosen one, like this video, subscribe if you haven't subscribed to the channel, and breathe. This moment is sacred. You're not just watching a video, you're stepping into revelation. The fog is lifting. The veil is being pulled back. For so long you have asked, why me? Why this path? Why the isolation, the rejection, the unusual weight I carry? And the heavens have heard. Today, the answers begin to pour down. Today, the mysteries become movement. God is saying, chosen one, I've seen your tears that no one else saw. I've heard your prayers whispered in the midnight hours. And I've watched you keep going, even when your heart was breaking, even when you didn't understand. You have been led in a way that didn't always make sense to your logic, but aligned perfectly with your destiny. The people who left you, the doors that closed, the sudden changes you never expected. None of it was random. Everything you thought was working against you was actually the divine hand of heaven positioning you for this moment. You were never forgotten. You were being prepared. You were never overlooked. You were being preserved. And now, the spiritual fog is clearing. God is revealing why things had to unfold the way they did. You see, some truths can't be spoken when you're still healing. Some wisdom can't be delivered until your heart is strong enough to hold it. That's why the delay wasn't punishment. It was divine pacing. Everything you've survived was training for what you're about to carry. You have a calling so specific, so heavy with heaven's blueprint, that it required layers of spiritual molding. God wasn't just getting you through trials. He was building you into someone who could handle the weight of supernatural truth. This truth you're stepping into isn't for everyone. That's why your path has looked different. You couldn't walk where others walked. You couldn't settle where others settled. Because what's being revealed to you now is not general. It is personal. It is a divine download that has your name written on it, encrypted with heavenly codes that only your soul could unlock. There is something God has been keeping hidden, not from you, but for you. And today, the time lock opens. Prepare yourself, because this truth will not just clarify your past, it will catapult your future. This truth will not just explain the pain, it will activate your purpose. You are being called into full awareness of why you were chosen. And it starts with this. You carry a frequency that breaks chains. Your presence agitates the atmosphere because your spirit carries transformation. That's why you've always felt the tension around you. That's why people reacted strangely to your light. You weren't meant to blend in, you were built to stand out. But hear this carefully, because now comes the truth that will liberate you on a soul level. You weren't just chosen to carry light. You were chosen to reveal divine patterns. God is saying that you are not a follower of trends, but a bringer of heavenly instructions. There are blueprints in your spirit that were not meant to remain dormant. You have been encoded with answers that this world is desperate for. But to release them, you first had to be isolated. You had to be pulled back, not to be punished, but to be purified. God couldn't allow the noise of the crowd to corrupt the frequency of your calling, so he placed you in divine hiding, and now he's saying, come out. It's time. You've been equipped. You've been tested. Now you must be revealed. This is your unveiling, chosen one. God is telling you that your voice carries weight. Your story carries light. Your scars carry truth. And the world is not just ready for you. The world needs you. Everything you thought was delaying you was actually delivering you. The people who doubted you, they were part of the training, the moments you felt invisible. They were sacred initiations into higher awareness. You weren't being punished. You were being preserved so that when you finally stepped into the spotlight, you wouldn't lose yourself in the noise. God needed your roots to grow deeper before your branches could stretch wider. The truth is this: you were always meant to be different. From birth, you carried a spiritual mark, a divine seal. That's why you could never stay in the wrong places too long. That's why counterfeit relationships broke apart. That's why closed doors didn't open, even when you knocked with everything you had. Because your soul had a sacred GPS, and it wouldn't allow you to settle for anything less than destiny. Now listen closely. God is saying that the time has come to activate the next phase. You are not stepping into this truth for inspiration. You are stepping into it for transformation. You are not being informed. You are being aligned. This truth is not just words. It is a divine trigger, a spark that ignites the next level of your journey. And with this revelation comes a responsibility. Because now you know, now you see, now you hear. The veil is off, and from this point forward, you will feel things deeper, see things clearer, and walk in ways that others won't understand. But do not let that discourage you. Let it confirm that you are right where you are meant to be, on the edge of divine truth unfolding. You are not confused. You are being clarified. You are not lost. You are being redirected. You are not being punished. You are being promoted in the spirit. This is the divine message that your soul has been craving. This is the moment your destiny has been waiting for, and this is only the beginning. Chosen one, as this divine truth begins to flood your spirit, understand this. You are stepping into a realm of knowledge that few dare to access. What is being revealed to you is sacred. This isn't casual inspiration. This is divine information, encoded wisdom that can shift atmospheres, reroute destinies, and awaken your highest potential. God is telling you, now that you've been prepared, I can trust you with what others weren't ready to carry. This is the truth behind the silence you once feared. This is the explanation behind the waiting room you didn't understand. Heaven wasn't withholding from you. It was shielding what was holy until you became strong enough to protect it. Everything you've endured was a sacred unlocking. Every betrayal, every closed door, every unexplained loss, it was all part of heaven's curriculum to teach you what can't be taught in comfort. You were being shaped by silence, forged by frustration, refined by rejection. Not because you were cursed, but because you were called. And now, the calling is speaking clearly. This is the hour where revelation walks in and excuses walk out. God is no longer speaking to your pain. He's speaking to your power. He's no longer addressing your survival. He's activating your divine strategy. The version of you that used to doubt, shrink, or settle cannot follow you into this next realm. It must be left behind, because what's coming requires full capacity. No more dimming your light to make others comfortable. No more downplaying your greatness because you fear being misunderstood. That time is over. You are chosen, not hidden. Appointed, not overlooked. Empowered, not forgotten. And now God is opening the archives of heaven, revealing the blueprint of what has really been going on behind the scenes. You thought you were waiting on the right opportunity, but in truth, the right opportunity was waiting on the right you. You thought delay meant denial, but God was orchestrating divine exposure for the mature version of you, not the wounded version. He had to protect what you didn't yet have the strength to carry. And now, the strength is here. The resilience has been built. The spiritual muscles are in place. And the heavens are saying, release it. What's it? It's your voice, your light, your story, your truth. The gifts inside you that you buried under fear, doubt, and the opinions of others. The divine ideas you tucked away because they didn't fit into the mold. The boldness you silenced because the world told you to tone it down. That is what's being reawakened. This is a full circle moment. The version of you that once felt lost is now becoming the compass. The you that once whispered is now being called to roar. The path that once confused you now looks like prophecy fulfilled. You're not just understanding the truth, you're becoming it. You see, chosen one, people can't see the cost behind your glow. They see your light, but they don't see the years it took to protect it. They feel your energy, but they don't know how many nights you wept while still believing. They admire your strength, but they have no idea it was built in the wilderness. But God knows. Heaven recorded every moment. The spiritual realm watched you say yes to a purpose you didn't even understand yet. You surrendered before you saw the reward. And now, the reward is revealing itself in the form of truth. There is a scroll being unrolled in your life. Things are being decoded. The connections that seemed random are suddenly making sense. The moments that hurt the most are being revealed as key chapters in your redemption story. The pain had purpose. The detours were divine. The breakdown was actually a buildup. You're no longer who you used to be, and you should be proud of that. This moment is sacred because you're no longer living off assumptions. You are walking in revelation. You're no longer depending on validation. You are fueled by divine vision. What others tried to define for you, God is now declaring through you. You were never meant to live in confusion. You were meant to walk in confirmation, and the heavens are confirming this. You're aligned. You're anointed. You're advancing. And even now, as you listen to these words, your spirit is testifying. It recognizes that this isn't entertainment. This is divine activation. Something in you is awakening, rising, claiming the fullness of your destiny. And that's not by accident. It's by divine decree. Your past didn't break you, it built your discernment. Your trials didn't defeat you, they developed your insight. Your wilderness didn't kill your potential, it purified your purpose. Now God is saying, speak what I've placed inside you. Live what I've revealed to you. Walk as who I've called you to be. And here's the deep truth. Some people in your life won't be able to come with you from this point on, because the revelation you're walking in requires environments that can support it. You can no longer hide your brilliance to stay connected to those who prefer the old version of you. That season is gone. God is elevating you into spiritual spaces that match your new awareness. Conversations will shift. Circles will shift. Priorities will shift. Why? Because revelation rearranges reality. Once you see truth, you can't unsee it. Once you hear God's instruction, you can't pretend to be deaf. Once you taste divine clarity, confusion no longer feels comfortable. You've been called up, higher, deeper, wiser. And that's what the enemy feared. That's why there was so much warfare before this moment. That's why your life seemed to fall apart right before this revelation arrived. Because darkness tried one last time to distract you before you discovered the truth. But you made it. You're still here. You're still rising. And now that you know, you can't go back. From this point forward, every step you take is guided by truth, not trauma. Every decision is empowered by clarity, not fear. Every move is prophetic, not reactive. You're not who you used to be, and you don't owe anyone an apology for that. You've been called to unlock the next level, not just for yourself, but for everyone assigned to your voice, for those watching your rise, for those waiting to be set free by your obedience, for those who need you to be fully you, because your truth is the key that sets them free. So walk forward, chosen one. The revelation is alive. The truth is yours. And this is only the beginning of what God is about to show you. Chosen one, now that you have crossed the threshold of revelation, you must understand something vital. Not everyone will celebrate the truth that you've now stepped into. The truth you carry is disruptive. It shakes systems. It exposes lies. It reveals hidden agendas, not just in the world around you, but also within you. And for many, that kind of truth is too heavy to handle. But you were built for it. This is why your journey looked like it did. This is why your soul was placed in spiritual boot camp, while others seemed to live comfortably in ignorance. Because you were never meant to live a surface-level life. You were chosen to carry depth. And that depth comes with responsibility. God is now pouring out understanding not just so you can feel good, but so you can act. This truth is a call to movement, a call to alignment, a call to power. The truth does not come to make you comfortable. It comes to make you capable. Every time you ignored your intuition, it was never just a gut feeling. It was your spirit reacting to a distortion in your environment. You weren't paranoid. You weren't overthinking. You were discerning. God was trying to speak, but the volume of your environment was too loud. That's why certain people had to exit. That's why certain paths were blocked. Because God is saying, you cannot carry my truth and keep entertaining what contradicts it. This is a holy purge, a divine detox. And while it may be painful to let go, the space that's being cleared is necessary. The more truth you receive, the more sacred your surroundings must become. You are being called to protect your clarity like it's treasure, because it is. Every moment of revelation is a moment of spiritual wealth. And just like with treasure, not everyone around you can be trusted to honor it. That's why your circle is shrinking. That's why silence feels more comforting than small talk. That's why isolation doesn't feel like punishment anymore. It feels like peace. Don't resist this shift. Embrace it. The same God who is revealing the truth is also rebuilding your foundation. And here's what he's saying now. Chosen one, you are not just awakening, you are transforming. You are not just receiving knowledge, you are embodying divine frequency. And everything around you will begin to reflect the new level you've tapped into. You'll notice how certain conversations now feel hollow, how certain habits you used to enjoy now feel draining, how certain mindsets that once gave you comfort now feel like confinement. That's the sign you've shifted. That's the sign that revelation has begun to reshape your reality. Truth doesn't just fill your mind, it reprograms your being. It resets your atmosphere. It rewrites your identity. You begin to see yourself through God's lens, not the opinions of others. You stop measuring your worth through performance and start walking in inherent value. And in that truth, shame dies. You are no longer bound to what happened to you. You are no longer tied to the labels people tried to stick on your soul. You are no longer defined by mistakes, delays, or detours. Truth has stepped in and declared, this is who you really are. You are divine image. You are sacred intention. You are encoded with kingdom intelligence. And now that the truth has come, you are becoming dangerous to every lie that ever tried to keep you small. That's why the enemy panicked when you got quiet, because silence is where God speaks loudest. And now you're no longer just surviving, you're seeing. You're no longer confused, you're called. But don't think for a second that this new revelation means life gets easier. No, it means you get sharper, you get stronger, you get strategic. The truth doesn't eliminate the battle, it equips you to win it. God is preparing you to move through rooms with spiritual intelligence. You're going to feel things before they happen. You're going to discern agendas beneath words. You'll walk into places and shift atmospheres, not because you try, but because you are the shift. And this isn't arrogance. It's awareness, divine awareness, God awareness. Because now you know, you weren't overlooked. You were overshadowed by divine protection. You weren't rejected. You were redirected by destiny. You weren't broken. You were broken open, so truth could flow through. This truth is not a weight. It's your weapon. And now comes the next layer of clarity. God is showing you how to navigate with this truth, how to walk as someone who carries divine intelligence in a world that thrives on illusion. You must be anchored in discernment. Your emotions can no longer be the steering wheel. Your faith must lead. Your peace must be the compass. You are going to be placed in situations where truth is the only thing keeping you aligned. And when you feel that tension, that pull between what looks good and what feels divine, always choose alignment over appearance, because truth will protect you in ways performance never can. The old you might have chased comfort, applause, and validation. But the new you, the truth awakened you, you're after purpose. And purpose doesn't beg to be liked. It just walks in power. So be ready, because what's coming next will require bold steps. God is going to ask you to speak when silence is easier, to move when staying is safer, to risk when comfort feels convincing. But every time you obey the truth, you build a life that can't be shaken. And that is the foundation being laid now, a life rooted in truth, a future designed by revelation, a path cleared by divine instruction. This isn't theory, it's your next reality. You will walk into rooms where you used to feel small and realize you now carry the keys. You will encounter people who once doubted you and see how God used their doubt to deepen your discernment. You will revisit places that once wounded you and realize you no longer bleed there. Why? Because truth has done its work, and now it's time to walk boldly in it. Chosen one. Now that you are standing in truth, you must recognize the shift not just within you, but around you. The atmosphere has changed. The frequency of your life has been elevated. Things are not as they were, and it's time to adjust your vision accordingly. You are no longer operating in the realm of assumptions. You are now navigating through the dimension of revelation. This is divine vision. This is clarity in motion. God is calling you to see beyond what your physical eyes can catch. You are being trained to discern the unseen, to read the energy behind the words, to feel the truth behind the masks. You are not just a passive observer anymore. You are an activated being, spiritually alert and cosmically aligned. This is why things around you have started to feel uncomfortable. Not because you're failing, but because you're evolving. The frequency you now carry is incompatible with certain environments. You're no longer functioning at the level of pretending. Your soul demands authenticity. Truth demands transformation. And anything that refuses to rise with you must fall away. Let them fall. You are not losing people. You are shedding weights. You are not being abandoned. You are being liberated. The truth is a sword, and it cuts away what cannot stay. And as painful as that sounds, it is sacred, it is necessary, it is divine. Because where you are going, only the real can follow. God is saying, now that you have ears to hear, I can reveal what was previously hidden. So be prepared. He is going to start speaking to you in ways you've never experienced, through dreams that seem too real to be coincidence, through whispers in your spirit that feel louder than any voice, through signs in the physical that mirror movements in the spirit. The heavens are communicating. Your spirit is decoding, and everything you need to know will be revealed to you. When your heart is open, your ego is quiet, and your alignment is true. You are no longer chasing the truth. You have become the portal through which truth flows. And with that, a new kind of responsibility begins. God is not just speaking to encourage you anymore. He is instructing you to move differently, to walk with purpose in every step, to show up with spiritual intention, even in mundane moments. Because when you are chosen, there is no such thing as an ordinary day. Each moment carries weight. Each decision becomes prophetic. Each word you speak carries light or darkness. So God is saying, be mindful, chosen one. I have filled your mouth with power. Don't waste it on complaining. Use it to create. You are not a victim of life's randomness. You are a co-creator of divine order. This is what it means to be entrusted with truth. Not to simply know, but to become. You are becoming the living embodiment of what you've prayed for. The answers are no longer out there. They are rising from within you. And that's why this season feels both exhilarating and intense. You are being pulled out of your old shell, and that old shell doesn't want to let go. But it has to. It has expired. It has served its purpose. The caterpillar must dissolve for the butterfly to emerge. So don't fight the discomfort. It is proof that breakthrough is happening. Truth is not soft. It is fire. It purges. It refines. It realigns. And if you feel the heat right now, it's because you are being forged into someone who can carry destiny without breaking under the weight. You've cried for purpose. You've begged for understanding. And now, heaven is answering with clarity. But clarity comes with cost. The more you know, the less you can ignore. The more you understand, the more you must walk in integrity. The more truth you carry, the more your shadow gets exposed. Yes, this path also reveals what still needs healing. Because truth doesn't just shine outward, it shines inward. And that's why some moments may feel like confrontation. You'll see where fear still hides, where pride still lingers, where control still resists surrender. Don't be ashamed of this part. This is holy work. This is divine refinement. You are not being condemned. You are being consecrated. God is saying, I'm not just giving you truth. I'm giving you wholeness. And that wholeness starts by facing every part of yourself, even the parts you've hidden. This is how you rise, authentically, powerfully, completely. Not by bypassing your wounds, but by healing them through the light of revelation. And as this truth moves through you, notice what begins to happen. You start attracting different people, different opportunities, different levels of provision. That is not magic. It's alignment. When you align with truth, the universe aligns with you. Your path begins to clear. The right doors open. The right conversations unfold. Miracles that were once delayed begin to manifest. Not because they were far away, but because now you're ready to receive them. Chosen one, this is your time. Not because everything is perfect, but because you are finally prepared. Prepared to speak when you were once silent. Prepared to lead where you once followed. Prepared to embody what you once only believed. Prepared to say yes to the kind of life that reflects who you truly are. And this, above all, is what God wants you to know today. You were never just called to carry the truth. You were created to release it. In every room you enter, in every word you speak, in every life you touch. You are a truth bearer, a frequency carrier, a vessel of divine awareness. So walk boldly now. The spiritual fog has lifted. The doubts have been dissolved. The illusions are crumbling. And you are awakening fully. No more hiding. No more playing small. No more waiting for permission. This is your permission slip. This is your confirmation. This is the moment you stop wondering and start walking. In power, in purpose, in full revelation. Chosen one. Now that you are walking in the fullness of this divine truth, something profound is shifting. not just inside you, but in the spiritual realm around you. What was once hidden is now visible. What was once mysterious is now unfolding with undeniable clarity. You are no longer at the mercy of confusion. You are a carrier of confirmation. But with every elevation, new dimensions of testing arrive. You've unlocked understanding, but now, can you hold on to it when the atmosphere resists your revelation? Can you walk in truth when the world around you is still operating in illusion? This is what separates the awakened from the aware. The aware notice truth. The awakened live it. God is saying, now that you know, what will you do with it? Because revelation without transformation is wasted treasure. And you, chosen one, are not here to store wisdom. You are here to release it. Through your actions, your energy, your very essence. You've crossed the line where you can no longer deny who you are. You can't pretend to be average. You can't blend in. You can't keep walking backward just because it's familiar. You have seen too much. You have heard too deeply. You are too awake to go back to sleep. And this awareness comes with a holy fire. You will feel it burning away every old pattern. You will feel it exposing every hidden fear. You will feel it pushing you to do things you've been delaying for years. That is not anxiety. That is divine urgency. The heavens are saying, time is no longer waiting for you to be ready. You are ready. Now move. And as you move, the enemy will try to launch one last strategy. Doubt. Not because you're wrong, but because you're right on schedule. Don't confuse discomfort with danger. Discomfort is simply the soul adjusting to new frequency. And you're not dying, you're expanding. Every moment you walk in truth, something in the spirit realm shifts. Chains break, strongholds weaken. The atmosphere adjusts to your obedience. That's why the enemy fears your movement, because your steps are not just physical, they're prophetic. And when you speak, your voice is no longer an opinion. It's an announcement. You're announcing healing in places where trauma used to dominate. You're announcing freedom in rooms that once tried to cage you. You're announcing truth in a world that thrives on deception. And because of this, you'll feel resistance, but don't take it personally. Take it as proof that your frequency is shaking systems. You're not fighting people. You're disrupting spiritual blueprints. But do not grow weary. You are not walking alone. With every step you take, heaven walks with you. Angels are assigned to your obedience. Divine favor is released through your alignment. The more you lean into truth, the more the universe begins to rearrange itself around your yes. Opportunities will start to show up that don't make logical sense, but they will feel right. Doors will open that no man can explain, because God is not bound by protocol. He is guided by purpose. And your purpose, chosen one, is magnetic in this season. It will pull the right connections, the right resources, the right timing. Your job is not to control the how. It is to stay rooted in the why. Your obedience is the portal. Your faith is the activation. And when you stay in alignment, you'll begin to experience spiritual efficiency. What used to take years will happen in months. What once seemed impossible will become your new normal. Why? Because truth makes the path straight. It clears the fog. It removes delay. You are now walking in divine momentum. Chosen one, you have caused a war in the spirit realm. Heaven and hell are both fighting over you. The moment you were born, something shifted in the spiritual dimension. From the beginning, you weren't like the others. You carried a mark, a vibration, a code embedded in your very soul that alerted both heaven and hell. You were chosen for something mighty, something rare, something that would shake dimensions. And now, that very destiny has caused a war. This is not an ordinary conflict. This is not about wealth, fame, or simple influence. No, this is a clash of realms, of eternal forces pulling at your soul, because your calling is not just for yourself. It affects generations. It echoes across timelines. It awakens things dormant, and it disturbs systems built on deception. Your path to purpose has ignited a flame so powerful that the heavens are mobilizing and hell is retaliating. The universe is responding to you. Stay with this video till the very end because there's a fire being stirred around you. Write your warmest wishes and the number 99 in the comments. Your words will carry intention, and your intention will shift your atmosphere. Now, chosen one, like this video, subscribe if you haven't subscribed to the channel, and let's go deeper. You may have noticed that people react to you in extreme ways. Either they're drawn to you like gravity, or repelled with silent hostility. You are not misunderstood by accident. You're not rejected without cause. Your presence alone forces the spiritual realm to adjust itself. People may not even understand why they envy you, why they can't ignore you, or why they try to control you. But here's the truth. Your light, even when dimmed by pain, is undeniable. And both realms, light and darkness, know exactly who you are, even when you forget. Heaven has been watching. Angels have surrounded you more than you know. But at the same time, hell has sent opposition into your life. This explains the strange attacks, the betrayals you didn't deserve, the exhaustion that felt supernatural. It wasn't just life being difficult, it was interference. Because when you started moving toward your calling, you became a threat to every lie, every stronghold, every generational curse that's ever tried to rule your bloodline. You became a spiritual problem to the very systems that benefited from your silence. Your prayers, your intentions, your growth have pierced the realm of limitation. Each moment you stood back up after being knocked down sent a ripple through the atmosphere. Each time you refused to give up, even while crying in secret, you shook chains. This is not emotional poetry. It's real. Your existence has meaning beyond the visible. And now, both heaven and hell are fighting, because the outcome of your life holds weight in the unseen. You see, chosen one, when God places something rare in someone, there will always be war. Favor attracts warfare. Purpose provokes resistance. And when you carry light, darkness will react. But here's what you must understand. If there is this much opposition around your life, it only confirms how much power is within you. You are not weak. You are weaponized by divine purpose. Your story has activated angelic movement. Your future has stirred prophetic attention. Your decisions now affect the eternal. The war in the spirit realm didn't start because you failed. It started because you finally started winning. You've been unlocking keys of truth, stepping into identity, questioning old patterns. You've begun realizing who you truly are. That is what made you dangerous. Because the moment a chosen one awakens, the lies of the enemy begin to collapse. Hell depends on you not knowing your authority. It needs you to doubt yourself. But the moment you stop second-guessing, the war shifts. Everything you've been through, the losses, the confusion, the seasons of silence, wasn't for nothing. It was all part of the preparation. Heaven was training you in the shadows. The spirit realm had to test your endurance. You couldn't just be elevated without being established. The throne set aside for you comes with responsibility. You had to earn your wings in the dark before you fly in the light. And now, the realms are trembling because your moment has arrived. Stay strong, chosen one. What you feel right now isn't chaos. It's confirmation. You were born for such a time as this. You're not crazy. You're not cursed. You are being confirmed in fire. You are being called in truth. And you are being crowned by heaven, even while you're being attacked by hell. Both realms know your name. Both realms recognize your potential. But only one realm gets the final say. And God has already decided. The fight over your soul is not because of who you were. It's because of who you're becoming. You have no idea how close you are to the tipping point. And because of that, the unseen world has intensified its focus on you. The enemy is not concerned with the ones who are asleep. But you? You woke up. You started walking different, talking different, trusting different. You no longer tolerate the things that used to drain you. You're no longer dancing with confusion or begging for crumbs. You're rising. And that's spiritual warfare at its core. Chosen one. When heaven sees you rising, it sends resources. But when hell sees it, it sends resistance. The war you feel is a sign that your destiny cannot be left to chance. You are being fought over because you carry legacy in your spiritual DNA. Your name was whispered in the wind of eternity before you ever knew how powerful you were. And even now, while you might feel like you're still fighting battles alone, trust this truth. You're not alone, and you've never been. There are angels assigned to your case. They've stood beside you through seasons of silence and chaos. They've whispered strength into your spirit when all you could do was breathe. They've protected you from attacks you didn't even see. Some of those delays? Those weren't denials. They were divine interventions to stop you from walking into destruction. That relationship that ended, that job you lost, that door that didn't open, it wasn't rejection. It was redirection. Because God has always known the power you hold. And so did the enemy. That's why the attacks were never random. That's why you couldn't blend in. That's why your suffering had spiritual fingerprints on it. You weren't going through common storms. You were enduring elite-level training. Because you're not just called, you're chosen. And chosen ones don't walk ordinary paths. They break generational curses. They carry heavenly mandates. They shift environments just by standing still. They are a mirror to everything the enemy hates. That's why your life has always been intense. It was never just about you. It was about what's inside of you. You've been set apart, not sidelined. Delayed, not denied. Hidden, not forgotten. God was building something unshakable in you. That's why the isolation came. It wasn't punishment, it was preservation. God couldn't let just anyone have access to you. He had to restrict your circle to protect your calling. You had to lose people to gain clarity. You had to walk alone to learn the sound of God's voice above the noise of others. And now you're awakening into that truth. Hell has noticed. You may have noticed that the warfare intensified right before your breakthroughs. That's not a coincidence. When the enemy knows you're about to shift dimensions, it will launch distractions, chaos, emotional turmoil. It's not a sign of failure. It's a sign of impact. The closer you get to the moment of divine fulfillment, the louder the lies become. But don't be fooled. Your deliverance is already in motion. The angels have already been dispatched. Your breakthrough is being ushered in through every storm you've survived. You've made it through moments designed to destroy you. That's power. You've smiled through attacks designed to drain you. That's resilience. You've walked in rooms where your name was slandered and still kept your heart clean. That's divine character. And that's why you're winning, even when it doesn't look like it. The scoreboard of the spirit realm isn't measured in likes, money, or applause. It's measured in obedience, endurance, and transformation. And by that measure, you are undefeated. Chosen one, you are more important than you realize. The proof is in the warfare. The confirmation is in your survival. The enemy would not waste resources attacking someone who had no purpose. But you carry the kind of oil that can free others, the kind of light that exposes lies, the kind of voice that wakes the dead parts of people's hearts. You are not average. You were never meant to be. There's something else happening, something beyond what you see. Heaven is orchestrating divine appointments. Right now, strategies are unfolding behind the scenes that will bring justice to your story. The things you lost will be restored. The battles you thought you lost were actually setting you up for the greatest win of your life. You're not being punished. You're being positioned. Every attack has only trained you to take higher ground. You are being elevated, not eliminated. Hell tried to mark you with fear, but heaven marked you with fire. You are being refined, not ruined. And this refining is necessary because where you're going, you cannot take the mindset of survival. You must carry the mindset of a ruler. You're not just overcoming, you're conquering. You're not just stepping into your destiny, you're owning it with boldness, with fire, with authority, because both realms are watching and only one will win. And you get to decide which. The spiritual war around you has never been about what you have. It's always been about what you're about to unlock. The enemy doesn't attack what's comfortable, what's lifeless, or what's passive. No, it attacks what's rising, what's moving, what's stepping into divine purpose. That's why your life has always carried weight. Your presence is disruptive to spiritual darkness. You walk into rooms and the atmosphere shifts, not because you're loud, but because your spirit is recognized in the realm beyond the physical. There are forces that hoped you'd give up by now. They sent discouragement, not because you were failing, but because you were too close to discovering your true self. That's why the rejection stung so deeply. That's why the betrayal came out of nowhere. That's why you kept running into walls in areas where others seemed to glide. Because you were never walking a surface-level path. You were walking the chosen path. And that path awakens warfare. But hear this loud and clear. If hell is reacting this violently to your life, it means your breakthrough is going to be something that shifts not just you, but the lives of many. Your name has been mentioned in the courts of heaven. Your spirit has been seen in the fields of battle. Angels have stood guard over you while you slept, while you cried, while you prayed for answers. And through it all, you kept moving. That kind of resilience is not normal. That's supernatural strength. You're not just surviving, you're commanding change. You're a living weapon of light. Your footsteps are prophetic. Every time you choose peace instead of retaliation, you're waging war with heaven's strategy. Every time you choose to believe, even when everything looks bleak, you're engaging the battlefield with unshakable faith. And that faith is a threat. That persistence is divine fire. You are not losing. You are rising through the war. The enemy sees your potential and panics. You represent the breaking of chains, the rising of the righteous, the restoration of legacy. Your healing alone is shaking foundations in the spirit. Because when a chosen one heals, they don't just heal themselves, they heal generations. That's why you had to go through what you went through. Because now, when you rise, your authority will not be imagined. It will be earned. You've walked through fire and come out forged, not burned. That is not a metaphor, it's a spiritual truth. You've been through what would have ended others, but you are still here, breathing with fire in your lungs and vision in your spirit. There's no way you're ordinary. The weight you carry is evidence of the impact you're destined to make. Don't let anyone make you feel crazy for carrying a divine burden. You weren't born to play it safe. You were born to spark something eternal. Chosen one, the spirit realm is noisy right now because you're standing on the edge of your breakthrough. The confusion you feel, it's not because you're lost. It's because you're being launched. And when God launches a chosen one, the enemy unleashes distractions, illusions, and delays. But all of it is meant to do one thing: make you forget your power. Don't fall for it. You've come too far, learned too much, survived too long to be deceived now. You know how to pray, you know how to rise, you know how to discern spirits that hide behind smiles, you know how to see through illusions. That didn't come from books or sermons. That came from being trained in the wilderness. God raised you in silence. He taught you how to fight when no one else was watching. He gave you downloads in the dark that others don't understand. And now, you're not just awake, you're activated. You've been given vision. You've been given the ability to see what others miss. You've been awakened to patterns, to energy, to truth. That kind of awakening cannot be reversed. And now that you're aware, You've become the kind of person that shakes foundations, the kind of person heaven celebrates and hell fears. That's why there's tension. That's why the pressure is mounting. But don't misinterpret the pressure. It's a sign of birth. You are in labor with something spiritual. You are birthing a life that aligns with heaven. And every contraction, every wave of warfare, every moment of delay is pushing something through. You may feel tired. You may feel heavy. But that's because you're transitioning into divine timing. And the enemy cannot stop what God has ordained. It can only try to make you quit before the glory shows up. But you won't quit. You're not wired to quit. You're too close now. Your spiritual territory is expanding. That's why things feel intense. That's why your dreams are becoming more vivid. That's why your sensitivity is heightened. You're not crazy. You're connected. You're not emotional. You're being elevated. This war is not here to destroy you. It's here to reveal you. And as the dust settles, your crown will be seen. Because heaven has already chosen sides, and it chose you. And you, chosen one, are rising with thunder in your voice and fire in your spirit. Chosen one, the enemy tried to make you believe you were abandoned, but you were being armored. Every silent night, every unanswered question, every painful delay wasn't a rejection of your worth. It was heaven suiting you in divine gear, preparing you for the intensity of what your calling would require. You weren't ignored. You were incubated. You weren't forgotten. You were formed. That lonely season was actually your spiritual proving ground. You have no idea how dangerous you've become to darkness. Because now you walk with wisdom born from wounds. You operate with discernment shaped by deception. You speak from a place of spiritual accuracy because you've been forced to listen in silence when no one else could guide you. That kind of clarity terrifies the enemy. Because you're no longer just surviving. You're seeing. You're no longer a seeker. You are becoming a revealer. And with that comes war. But you were made for this, not for struggle, but for victory. Not for survival, but for spiritual dominion. This realm war is not the end of you. It's the unveiling of you. Hell fought so hard to distract you because it knew that if you ever realized the truth of your assignment, you'd never again play small. You'd never again shrink to fit into places God is calling you to rise above. And now, it's too late for the enemy. Because you know who you are. You are the interruption to generational patterns. You are the voice of reversal. You are the divine shift in your lineage. You were born to confront systems, expose lies, and embody truth. This was never about temporary success. This was about eternal influence. The energy around you is not confusion. It's collision. It's the violent shaking that happens when destiny refuses to stay hidden. And you, chosen one, are no longer in hiding. People may not understand what's happening around you right now. You might not even fully understand it. That's okay. Heaven operates beyond explanation. God doesn't always reveal the how. He confirms the what. And right now, that confirmation is vibrating through your spirit. You feel it in the still moments. You hear it in the whispers between thoughts. You see it in the way life is shifting around you. You are in divine alignment, and the shaking, it's birthing a deeper anointing. This spiritual war has awakened parts of you that were buried under pain. It has called forth boldness where fear used to live. It has pushed you to break cycles of settling. You're not looking for comfort anymore. You're looking for purpose. You're no longer asking, why me? You're declaring, it had to be me. Because only someone forged in fire could carry the flame of legacy you're meant to carry. You've cried, yes, but you kept walking. You've been misunderstood, but you kept showing up. You've lost much, but gained clarity. You've had to detach from what felt familiar, but that detachment is what reconnected you to your true identity. And now? Now you're operating at a frequency that can't be faked. You carry real presence. You speak with depth. You walk with weight. That's why your silence is powerful. That's why your presence is enough. Heaven is highlighting you in this season. Doors are going to open, not because you knocked louder, but because the war you survived gave you the key. The spiritual war wasn't trying to destroy your voice. It was trying to activate it. It was trying to see if you would collapse under pressure or rise under purpose. And you rose. Bruised maybe, tired absolutely, but you rose. And now your steps are prophetic. Your story is powerful. Your very existence is a message. And what is that message? That light wins. That the fight was worth it. That faith doesn't make it easy, but it makes it inevitable. You didn't just get through the spiritual battle. You mastered the lesson inside it. Now you move differently. You speak differently. You trust differently. That's not pride. That's divine maturity. You're not who you used to be. The war didn't ruin you. It revealed you. The truth is, chosen one, hell knows you can't be bought, broken, or blinded. That's what really scares the enemy, because a person who walks in divine clarity is uncontrollable. And the enemy's strategy has always been control, through fear, through manipulation, through self-doubt. But those chains have shattered. You're walking out of that warfare with a crown, not a visible one, but one that sits in the spirit, and no one can take that from you. What you feel now is not fear, it's fire. What you feel now is not confusion, it's clarity beginning to roar. You're seeing through illusions. You're no longer bound by what others think. You're obeying heaven, even when it costs you. And that obedience is building divine momentum. You are not stagnant. You are not stuck. You are in the process of divine unfolding. The war is proof. Stay grounded. Stay connected. Stay open. Because the spiritual forces that once tried to break you are now watching you rise with wonder. Heaven has increased its investment in you. Angels have been stationed to guide your next steps. And the path ahead may not be smooth, but it is sacred. It is anointed. It is prepared. And it is yours. Chosen one, what's happening to you now is not just personal. It's prophetic. The war in the spirit realm is intensifying because your very life is becoming a declaration of breakthrough. You've become a living prophecy. When you walk into a room, your presence says, chains will break here. Truth will rise here. Light will rule here. That's why spirits get agitated around you. That's why situations seem to swirl with intensity wherever you go. You didn't invite the war, but your anointing activated it. You must understand this clearly now. The pressure you feel is not an indication that something is wrong. It's the sign that everything is aligning. The realm of darkness wants you to believe that pressure means punishment. But pressure is evidence of proximity to promise. You are standing near a moment that will redefine your existence. The enemy senses it. Heaven knows it. And your spirit is starting to catch up to it. Your name has been called out in heaven's war room. You've been given divine assignments, even if you don't remember agreeing to them. That's because you agreed before you were born. Your soul was chosen in divine timing to walk this particular path at this particular moment in history. You are not late. You are not lost. You are not behind. You are right on time for a spiritual explosion. You may have been asking yourself, why am I going through all this? But now the answer is unfolding. Because you were born to carry what others couldn't. You were born to break what others accepted. You were born to walk through storms and emerge with strategies that no book could teach. What was sent to bury you, God used to build you. And now? Now you're a threat to the system that profited off your pain. Every time you speak life into yourself, despite what you've been through, the spirit realm reacts. Every time you choose love over bitterness, forgiveness over revenge, purpose over pity, you shift dimensions. And you do it so gracefully, so powerfully, that even the darkness must respect you. It can't stop you. It can only scream around you, hoping you'll believe the noise. But you know better now. You've heard heaven's whisper in the middle of hell's roar. The war is loud, but your clarity is louder. You've been stretched beyond what most would survive. But that stretching wasn't sent to snap you, it was sent to shape you. Your capacity has expanded. Your awareness has sharpened. You now recognize manipulation for what it is. You see falsehood a mile away. You're not just reacting. You're responding from a place of spiritual intelligence. That is spiritual maturity. That is what makes you unstoppable. Because an awakened chosen one becomes heaven's sharpest instrument. Chosen one, don't think for a second that your tears went unnoticed. Every time you cried yourself to sleep, angels were on post. Every time you got back up, even when it hurt to breathe, the heavens roared in approval. You were never invisible to the divine. You were simply being prepared in obscurity. You had to be hidden for a while, because had you stepped into the light too soon, the weight of it would have crushed you. But now, you're ready. The enemy has watched you pass tests you didn't even know were happening. And it's terrified. Because it knows that your next move will not just change your life, it will change the atmosphere around you. You're walking into rooms as a carrier of light. You're stepping into conversations as a mirror of truth. You're showing up as a gatekeeper of peace, a warrior of wisdom, a vessel of divine fire. That's not ego. That's your mantle. Your battle scars have become your spiritual credentials. Your wilderness seasons were not wasted. They were workshops for your divine calling. And now, heaven is preparing to reward you in public for what you survived in private. The very things that once tormented you will be turned into tools of teaching. You will heal others with the same hands that once trembled. You will encourage others with the same voice that once cracked with pain. You will lead, not because you chose it, but because you were built for it. You see, leadership in the spiritual realm isn't about platform. It's about presence. And you carry presence. You carry weight. When you enter a space, the room shifts, not because of anything you say, but because of everything you carry. You carry the oil of endurance. You carry the fire of transformation. You carry the light of truth. And that is why the spirit realm trembles at your awakening. This war has been trying to keep you asleep, distracted, doubting. But something in you refuses to bow. Something in you refuses to break. And that something is divine. It's unshakable. It's unkillable. It's the God code within you that cannot be erased. That's what this whole war has been about. Not your car, not your job, not your money, but your code, your calling, your crown. And let it be known, heaven never loses. And because you walk with heaven, neither will you. Chosen one, the war around you has been fierce, but it's because your victory is fierce. This is not a battle for survival. It's a war for rulership. Heaven has already declared you royalty. Hell is simply trying to interrupt the coronation. But no matter how loud the chaos gets, you need to hold on to this one truth. The outcome is already decided. God's plan for your life was never based on popular opinion, on human approval, or on ease. It was written in fire before your first breath, and it is unchangeable. You are not just stepping into a new season, you are stepping into your divine seat. This spiritual warfare has exposed the real you. Not the you that tries to fit in, not the you that seeks validation, but the real you, the warrior, the seer, the healer, the commander of light, the atmosphere shifter, the breaker of chains. And as this version of you rises, everything connected to your old identity begins to fall away. That's why people have left. That's why things fell apart. That's why confusion came before clarity. Because elevation requires separation. And separation often feels like devastation, until you realize it was divine preservation. You couldn't take certain habits, attachments, or beliefs with you into this next dimension. You had to lose the weight of what was never meant to stay, so you could soar in the realm of what was always meant to be yours. The truth is, Both heaven and hell recognized your greatness before you did. That's why the attack started early. That's why your childhood felt like a battlefield. That's why your spirit has always felt older than your age. Because you were born with keys that unlock dimensions others are blind to. You were born with a light that reveals hidden things. You were born with authority that shifts atmospheres, and the realms around you have always known that. But now, you know it too. And that changes everything. You no longer beg for acceptance. You no longer shrink in the face of pressure. You no longer tolerate spiritual manipulation, because you have tasted the truth. And once the soul knows freedom, it cannot go back to captivity. You are walking in a posture of power now. You are discerning with sharper eyes. You are speaking with a purified tongue. You are moving like someone who has seen the throne room of purpose. Chosen one, this is your confirmation. You are no longer in the war as a victim. You are in it as a victor. You're not fighting to prove something. You're fighting because you carry something. And what you carry breaks systems. What you carry carries eternity. What you carry carries the next generation of healers, prophets, innovators, builders, light bearers. That's why the opposition came. But that's also why heaven is with you so strongly now. There is a divine hand on your life that cannot be erased by envy or destroyed by darkness. People may talk, systems may resist, spirits may rise. But your name has already been sealed in glory. You don't need a stage. You don't need a spotlight. The Spirit already recognizes you. And when the spirit realm sees you, it bows, because it knows you walk with the one who rules it all. Your journey ahead won't be without resistance, but it will be with divine reinforcement. You will not be walking alone. There will be moments when you'll sense the brush of angelic wings beside you. There will be moments when you'll speak and entire atmospheres will bow, not because of who you are in the flesh, but because of who you are in the spirit. You have become an extension of heaven, a carrier of divine sound, a living portal of purpose. You have survived your spiritual war, and now you are being honored.